Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, Jay Jones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 251. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and today we have another outstanding and educational show in store for you. Today's show topic is the importance of owning the system. 3 components we must control. The importance of owning the system. 3 components we must control. But before we get to today's episode, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome any new listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Welcome to the BEB family. We're glad to have you. And please stay around until the end of today's episode, where I'm going to give you all of my social media contact information. And please connect with me via social media. Also, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-commerce Businesses. So if you're interested in building a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, please go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy. It's $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Now, if you need additional assistance building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, please go to educatedecommerce.com. Educatedecommerce.com. And this is actually a compatible online course that I created that goes along with the book, but it takes you step by step and it holds you by the hand from starting your business all the way to being successful selling online on your own platforms, Amazon platform, eBay, Be Smart by Black, and other platforms. So please go to educatedecommerce.com and you can register for the online course. Now, for all you Black product producers, I've created a platform titled BeSmartByBlack.com. And what that is, it's a platform where Black product producers can upload their products and connect with Black consumers worldwide. Once again, we're talking about circulating the dollar in the Black community, and this is one of the platforms I've created to do so. Now, if you're a freelancer, if you do anything on Fiverr.com or Freelancer.com, I've created a platform for freelancers. Once again, it's called HireBlackFreelancers.com with an S, Hire, H-I-R-E, BlackFreelancers.com. Please upload your information to HireBlackFreelancers.com and your products to BeSmartByBlack.com. It's free. So it's free to upload your information, and this is how we're going to start circulating those dollars in the Black community worldwide. The last thing I forgot to tell you guys, also, if you guys need to request me to speak at an event or for a book tour, please go to bookjjones.com and fill out some information. So if you guys want me to come, I'm speaking at colleges, speaking at different events. So if you want me to come out and speak at an event, please go to bookjjones.com, bookjjones.com. And basically it's just a form to fill out about the dates, time, location, and everything of that nature. So once again, guys, bookjjones.com if you want me to come out to speak at an event or for a book signing. Now, back to today's episode, which is it's going to be another heavy one today, family. Today, we're talking about the importance of owning the system. 3 components we must control. Now, last week, if you didn't listen to episode 250 last week, you might want to go back and listen to that first. And episode 250 was titled, Do You Really Understand the Importance of Black Entrepreneurship as it Pertains to Our Future? And that episode, I kind of went into why it's important for us to be able to take care and create our own economic power base, because everything focuses on economics. Politics, it's a pay-for-play game. Media is controlled by economics. Everything, education, we need money to make sure that our children are educated correctly. So I went kind of heavy and went deep on last week's episode, and this is almost a continuation to that, because we have to start being able to own the system, not a piece of the system. And we're going to talk about that in depth today. The importance of owning the system. 3 components we must control. I was watching a video the other day of 2 brothers talking about what happens if all the top players in the National Basketball Association got together and decided to leave the NBA and create their own league. And I started thinking to myself, that's a great concept, but would it and could it even work? So if all the players left, now you have a couple different things that you have to take into account. All right. Number one, where would they play? Who would broadcast the event? Who would be the advertisers and the sponsors? So when I started thinking about it, if you look at most of the major sports leagues, in the NBA, there's only one black owner of a team, and that's Michael Jordan. In the NFL, there's none. So all other ethnicities own these teams. But when we're talking about the importance of owning the system, the 3 components we must control, we need to talk about or think about the example of the NFL and the NBA. Okay, the owners, a small group of owners, control and created the league. They also most of them own the stadiums that they play in. They own the teams, and they actually employ the players. So they have vertical integration, meaning they own the entire system. So we see what happened to Colin Kaepernick. When the NFL got together and colluded and said, you know what, this guy's causing too much problems. Let's make sure that we sit his ass on the sideline. And that's exactly what they did. Now, there are other football leagues. There's a Canadian Football League, obviously, but that doesn't compare to the NFL. You got the Arena League, and then you had the, I forgot the league that just went out of business, AAFL or something like that. And I think they have another league that's starting soon. The XFL, I think, is coming back with Vince McMahon. But basically what these owners do is they control the entire system. You don't follow the rules, you get blackballed. Okay? Once again, let me repeat that. These owners own the league. They own the teams. They own the stadiums. And the players are basically, they own them too. Okay? And that's the way that we need to start thinking in terms of taking care and supporting and building a black economic power base. We need to start thinking vertically, not just owning one thing, but owning it all. And so there are 3 components that we really need to focus on that we must control. And the component number 1 is we must produce our own products. Okay? We must produce our own products. See, because a lot of times we get it twisted. So if we're a retailer and we have a retail store and we sell black-owned products and products from other ethnicities, how are we really affecting, shutting down their money? We're still carrying their products and we're still selling it to our people. So even if we own the retail concept, we don't own the manufacturing aspect. And that's real big. So what we really need to do is, just like other ethnicities, like if you go to an Indian food store or an Asian food store, they own the retail component, and the products in there are usually manufactured by that ethnicity. So they're keeping it all vertical. We open a retail store, and because we don't have the manufacturing to support it, we may have some black products in the store, but the rest of the products are going to be coming from, white-owned companies. So really, how are we putting a dent, in building our own economy? We're still building somebody else's economy. So we need to think about that. So component number 1, we must produce our own products. And I'm going to use a store in the Philadelphia area called Wawa. I know people who out of the area don't know it, but it's WAWA, Wawa. And it was started in Wawa, Pennsylvania almost 100 years ago. And they started out as a dairy company. Let me just give you an overview of what Wawa is. Wawa has it's a privately owned company, probably like 600 to 700 stores in PA, Delaware, Jersey, Maryland. They skipped over some other states, and I know they're in Florida, and they're just growing. And they're super convenient stores with great food, like with hoagies, sandwiches. You go to the counter, hit the button, create your sandwich. They're back there making sandwiches. They have gas, clean. Everything looks nice. The beginning of Wawa started, they were an actual dairy farm. And they started delivering milk in trucks to people back over 100 years ago. Then what they decided to do, you know what? It's easier for us to create a retail presence, and we'll sell our milk out of there. So they started a little corner store, and they started growing these stores, and they sold all of their products. They sold milk. They created an iced tea brand that they sell. And even up to about 10 years ago, they used to sell Dunkin' Donuts in their actual stores. But now Wawa has its own baking facility. So they're selling their own donuts. So basically, they've created vertical integration for their products. And they've added other products, obviously, that a convenience store would need. But they're one of the most profitable businesses in the convenience store market in the country. And it's privately owned. And they talk about vertical integration and technology, and they're light years ahead of a lot of these other locations or other like 7-Elevens and stuff like that. So if you're in the Philly area, you don't really even go to 7-Eleven or anybody else. You go to Wawa. You get your gas there. You get good food, get your hoagies, your sandwiches, and it's, made to order stuff. It's not pre-made, but they do have some of that pre-made stuff too. So they took the concept of vertical integration and they've taken it and they've been growing like crazy. They started out, like I said, as a dairy company. So you can't always start out on top. You got to build and build and build. But that's component number one, produce our own products. Produce our own products. Yeah, we can sell other people's products, but if we want to build an economic power base, that's not shutting anybody else down. And not that that's the idea, but the idea is to be self-sufficient and independent. And I was listening to an interview with the rapper and activist David Banner. And I think he said two things. He said the only thing that white people think about or are concerned about are loss of finances and loss of life. So I talked about this last week. If you want to hit somebody or hit a business, you hit it in the pocket. Marching is great. We got to hit it from all angles. But if you shut it down, with the Gucci thing, people still out there, buying Gucci, even though they basically told you, screw you, with the blackface sweater. I mean, it happens with a lot of these, like Versace and all. They don't care. They don't want us to represent their brand, but we still buy it because, we got to have the latest fashions. We got to spend $500 on the shirt. Stupid stuff like that. Now, if you got the money and that's what you want to do, I get that. But we talking about building assets. We're not talking about buying depreciating things. Building assets. So number one component is we must produce our own products. And once again, I'll use the example of a retail store. It's great, that you're making money as the retailer. But how about we try to do what other ethnicities do and start selling everything in that retail store is black manufactured. The problem is we don't have the manufacturing back end to support that. So we need to start looking into manufacturing. And I did an episode a while back about manufacturing opportunities that are low cost or, not when I say low, I'm not talking about $100, but I'm not talking about anything like $100,000 either. So here's just an example of a couple of different things, manufacturing business you can start or look to buy that really you're converting raw materials into products. Okay. Like wood. If you manufacture wood products, like signs, sculptures, bowls, promotional products. Like, have you ever seen the wooden plaques that are engraved? Toys and artwork created out of wood. You can actually buy a wood engraving machine for $3,000, and it can engrave a piece of wood, a flat piece of wood. I think the max size on this machine I was looking at was 24 inches by 36 inches or 36 by 24, whatever. And if you've ever, matter of fact, I'm looking at something in my house right now. It's a little wooden engraved plaque that's on top of my office door. So you see all of that. So the only thing that you need is wood, okay, which is basically a raw material. You can go buy wood and you can put it in this machine and you can create and manufacture products. Now, I talked about on another episode, I met a dude at a trade show, young white guy, and what he was doing, he was printing pictures on wood, and he was selling these large format pictures to hotels. So the area I was in was Ocean City, Maryland, and he was at a trade show there, and he was selling hotels pictures of Ocean City, Maryland, that they would actually put up in their hotel lobbies and in their rooms. And the dude was making crazy money. What did he do? He bought a printing machine that prints on wood and acrylic. And all he was doing was buying the raw material. He was manufacturing in he started out in his garage. Now he has a small little warehouse. He has a few employees, and he's making crazy money. That's manufacturing. Another thing I always talk about is fabric or clothing. Okay? So you can create bags, scarves, pillowcases, etc. And that's really creating a sewing shop. So that's manufacturing the actual products. So if you Google sewing shops, now a lot of them are overseas, but you do have some here in the States. Okay? That's another low entry manufacturing opportunity. I just talked about laser engraving. So you can use a laser or buy a laser engraver, and you can engrave in acrylic, wood, glass, plastics, leather, paper, stone, rubber, fiberglass, cloth, cork, stainless steel, titanium, iPhones, iPads, and cardboard. So that's a laser engraving machine. Once again, you can buy a low-end laser engraving machine for under $500. Now, it's not going to do a lot of volume, but these are the type of manufacturing businesses that we can start easily. One of my cousins used to be the director or CEO of a bread factory. They used to make bread and rolls. So you go to the supermarket and you go buy your hot dog rolls, hamburger rolls. They would make rolls. And it's funny, one of the things that he said was a major issue was that it was hard as heck for them to get custom printed plastic bags for the bread. So when you go to the supermarket and you see the plastic bags with whatever the supermarket name is on it or whatever, or Wonder Bread or whatever, he said there are very few manufacturers that do that type of work. And they're so backed up that if you don't get your orders in on time, you're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. So he looked at buying a small plastic bag manufacturing company. So that's another type of business. And these don't have to be sexy businesses. Okay. When I was a stockbroker at Merrill Lynch, one of my largest clients used to own a hanger manufacturing company. His company manufactured wire hangers, plastic hangers, and wooden hangers. And he was a multi-millionaire just by doing that. Another thing you can look at is 3D printing, right? So 3D printing now is out there, so you can actually make samples. But here's an actual use. I was doing some research, and there's a gentleman that's using 3D printing to make spare parts for out of production pinball machines. All right. So pinball machines that are older, that need repair, and the company doesn't make that part anymore. What this guy is doing is using 3D printing to manufacture these parts. Okay. Also, in terms of manufacturing, we have a ton of black farmers out there. So food, you can be a farmer, you can produce the food. Okay. You can do organic creams and scrubs, leather products, belts, wallets, and the whole thing. And so these are small, low-cost manufacturing businesses that we can get into. Once again, component number one, produce our own products. Produce our own products. If you're not controlling the vertical, then you're not maximizing profitability. And I'll use the example, and I say it all the time, but I'm going to say it again for y'all who haven't heard it. You go into the Chinese restaurant. The cartons that they use, that they put the rice in, they're manufactured by a Chinese manufacturer. The rice that they use in the restaurant is purchased from a Chinese food distributor. The chopsticks that they give you are produced and manufactured by a Chinese manufacturer. The soy sauce, the duck sauce, everything you see in there is a vertical integration. They get it from somebody in their community. So they control the whole vertical. We come in with our money and we spend the money in the store, and that money trickles down to everybody in that vertical. It goes down when they get revenues and they have to buy more rice. It goes over to that food distributor, the Chinese food distributor. They need more boxes for the rice, the cardboard boxes. It goes to that manufacturer. They need more chopsticks. It goes to that manufacturer. They need more duck sauce, soy sauce. They go to that Chinese food distributor. That's called vertical integration. That's controlling the whole system. And today we're talking about the importance of owning the system. 3 components we must control. So number 1, we must produce our own. Number 2, we must distribute our own products. We must distribute our own products online and in person, however you want to do it. So number 1, you got to produce your own products, our own products. Number 2, we need to distribute our own products. Okay? Why? Because it's vertical integration. When you go to the Chinese store, that retail location, that retail food store, that's the distribution hub. That's the model. They create everything. They buy everything from their own. And then when you go to the store and spend your money in that store, that's the distribution. They control the distribution. They control the products and they control the distribution. So we have to learn how to distribute our own products. Now, you guys know I'm big in e-commerce. Amazon is great. eBay is great. Be Smart Buy Black is great. Hire Black Freelancers is great. But you also want to have your own platform, your own distribution method. People ask me, man, how come your book isn't on Amazon? And that's the exact reason, because I want to distribute the book. So when you order A New Black Wall Street and you go to anewblackwallstreet.com, that, I may not get as many sales because I'm not on Amazon, but that's fine because I control that distribution. And the reason I wanted to control that distribution is because now I get your email address, I get your physical address, I get your name, building up my database. So controlling your own distribution. And so, I'm not going to get as many sales because people aren't going to be able to find me as readily as if they were on Amazon. But I control my own distribution with that. So what we're talking about today, family, is the importance of owning the system. 3 components we must control. Component number 1, we must produce our own. Component number 2, we must distribute our own. And component number 3, that I'm trying to keep this movement alive, is we must buy our own products. We must buy our own products. Okay? So why is this important? All of these three things. If we stop giving our money to other folks, if we don't stop, nothing's going to matter. Like you said, white supremacists care about 2 things: the loss of finances and the loss of life. That's what David Banner said, and he's dead on. White supremacists only care about 2 things: the loss of finances and the loss of life. So do they care if you march in the street and protest? Yeah, they care. But they don't care like when you take that money out their pocket. Okay? And that's what I'm talking about. Not taking from somebody else, but building us. Building what we need to do to be taken seriously as a community, as a worldwide community. How is it that And I talked about this, on another episode. Here's what they think about you. They're laughing at you. How is it that, the Chinese are going into Jamaica, building like crazy, taking over everything, and not hiring the Jamaican workers there? They're hiring, the Chinese counterparts. How does that happen? How does Africa, especially like South Africa, get taken over? It's all about the economics. And when you have economics, you can create and build armies. You can build infrastructure. You can build commerce. You can build business. So what I'm trying to get to you guys is, and I know it's probably not, on the top of your mind on a daily basis, but it needs to be up there. We need to think and be conscious and make a concerted effort to look and do these three things. Number one, we must produce our own products. Number two, we must distribute our own products. And obviously, number three, we must buy our own products. Now, think about this. How nice would it be, instead of going to Walmart, and I know this is going to take a while to get to this point, but if you went to a store, a black-owned store, retail chain, that only carried products that were manufactured by black-owned businesses, the food from black farmers, all of the products that you want, be it your hair care products, be it your linens, be it whatever, your bicycles, whatever you can find in Walmart. Just imagine what that is and how powerful that is when you control something and are not at the behest of somebody else. That's when you become a power, an economic power. Now, if we focus, we can do this on a global scale by buying and supporting black-owned businesses online. That's why I'm so big on this e-commerce thing, because we don't have to go to Walmart to buy things. Everybody probably buys things online or has bought something online if you're of age. So if you're 10 years old, maybe you haven't. But most people buy on Amazon. A lot of people buy on eBay. You might buy from Target online, Walmart online. So all I'm saying, guys, is take the focus and start looking to support and buy black-owned products and support black-owned businesses online. And there's steps to this game. There's steps to the game. So number one, producing our own products. That's going to take a little longer. Most of us start out retailing products, but we really need to get to the manufacturing side of it. And once again, just imagine how that would be if we went to a store, just like a lot of Indians can, just like a lot of Chinese or Asians can. They can go to a store and pretty much buy anything they want from manufacturers that look like them. Okay? My mortgage company's, my first office was on top of an Indian store in West Philadelphia. We were on the second floor. And so I knew, because I used to see them all the time. And I go in there sometime, buy, like juice or whatever. But even the drinks they had, the bottled water, it wasn't the regular bottled water. They had bottled water from manufacturers in their country, from their ethnicity. And everything in that store, I'm sure 99% of everything in that store came from their ethnicity. And that's what we need to do. The problem is we don't have enough manufacturers. So we need to start looking into manufacturing. But once again, that doesn't work if the other two components aren't there with it. Produce our own products, number one. Distribute our own products, number two. That's the retail, be it online or physical retail. And number three, buy our own products. And that's the easiest thing we can do. Buy our own products. That's the easiest thing we can do. And a lot of time, y'all, some of the products, or a lot of the products that are sold to us aren't manufactured by us. And you need to check on that. Okay? Because one of the biggest money makers out there, obviously, is people selling to us, in guise of being a black-owned company. Not trying to hide it from you, but they're not trying to tell you that they're not black-owned either. Okay? So you look at even some of the, BET is owned by Viacom. I mean, it's nothing but garbage on there right now anyway. But a lot of the products, other people, other ethnicities know that we spend money. All right. The easiest way, guys, for us to start doing this is supporting black-owned businesses. All right. So you got Hire Black Freelancers. You got Be Smart Buy Black. You got other platforms out there. There are apps out there from the U.S. United States Black Business Coalition, U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce. They have apps out there that you can find black-owned businesses to support. U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce, you can actually go on the app in whatever city you're in, you'll be able to find black businesses. So that's the first step and the easiest step. But the problem is, guys, we're not even doing that. We're not even doing that. You know, and I gave the example at one of my talks. You know, we stop and get paid Friday. We go get gas in the morning, stop at McDonald's, no black-owned gas station. McDonald's probably isn't owned by a black entrepreneur. Then you go to lunch, you may go to a food truck or go to a little restaurant, get your lunch, probably not owned by a black business person. Then after work Friday, you know what? Hey, you're going to go out and get a couple of drinks and have some dinner with your coworkers or whatever. Go to Buffalo Wild Wings or Fridays or something, which is probably not black owned. And if you grossed $1,000, if you netted $1,000 that Friday in your paycheck, and you did everything that I just said, go to the gas station, get some breakfast, get some lunch, go out to dinner, get some drinks, you probably spent $100. That's 10% of your take-home pay that Friday as soon as you got it. And none of it was spent with a black-owned business. But that's something that we do unconsciously. We're so programmed just to go and spend without thinking about who are we supporting. And that's when it goes back to, like, you know, with the Gucci thing and all of that. Oh, I want to be fly, you know. I want to look, you know, look good or whatever. So I don't care what Gucci does or says about me because, you know what? Yo, this thing is hot. So whatever, Versace, we don't care what they say. And that's what they count on. They count on us continuing to be ignorant, as in not knowing. Now, if you know that this company, Gucci, doesn't respect you and you still keep supporting it, I don't know what's wrong with you. All right, I'm just going to be straight up. So if somebody's spitting in your face and you still going to go over there and support it, that's our ignorance. That actually, it's not even ignorance because you do know better. If you know what they're doing, you know better. That's just being apathetic. You have apathy. You don't even care. And that's what these companies continue to base their bottom line on, the apathy of the black folk worldwide, because we still going to support it. They can spit in our face. They can tell you they don't want you to wear their product. And we're going to be right out there acting stupid, supporting these businesses, as opposed to taking some effort and energy and finding black-owned businesses to support. Today's show topic, family, the importance of owning the system, 3 components we must control. And I'm going to recap it real quick. Number 1, we must control and produce our own products. Okay, so even if you own a retail store and you got black products in there, that's fine. But you still got products from other ethnicities in there because we don't manufacture enough products to have a whole retail establishment to sell nothing but black products, like some of the Asian stores and some of the Indian stores and other ethnicities where you can go in there and buy damn near anything you want, you know, and it's manufactured by that same ethnicity. So component number 1 is produce our own. Component number 2, distribute our own. Be in control of distribution. I was listening to Nick Cannon and Damon Dash the other day, and they were just talking about distribution. You know, we talk about the record industry right now, music industry, and how it's ridiculous. It's changing now because of the streaming, but we don't control that either. The crazy thing is, why, if you have good music or a good movie, do you have to go and distribute it through a middleman that's going to tell you how many theaters, this is for movies, how many theaters we're going to put it in, how long it's going to run, And if it doesn't do X amount of numbers, it's going to be out of there in 5 days. When you can go direct to consumer. Okay? Direct to consumer. Controlling your own distribution. The music business. All right? Now you can put out music. Soulja Boy. Put out music. And now you go direct to consumer. And that's what we need to do. We need to control our own distribution. At the least, create distribution systems by us, for us. Okay? And that's, once again, we have to distribute our own products and services. And once again, that's why I sell my book, A New Black Wall Street, on my site, anewblackwallstreet.com, because I want to control that distribution. And the bigger picture is, it's the database. So now I see who buys the book. They're in my database. I know what, the information. And I tell you guys, your database is one of the biggest assets of any business. Component number 3, we got to buy our own products. It's simple. The easiest thing to do is buy our own products, and we're not even doing that. We got to start making a concerted effort, family, to start buying our own products. We got to produce our own, distribute our own, and buy our own. Simple as that. And if you tie this episode in with last week's episode, 250, do you really understand the importance of black entrepreneurship as it pertains to our future? There's no revolution without economics. I got the t-shirt. I created the t-shirt, and that's a truism. There's no revolution without economics. I don't care if you're talking about a political revolution, an economic revolution, any type of revolution. You have to have the foundation of economics behind it. And when you don't control damn near anything, how you going to win? There's a war going on. There's a war going on. We're being destroyed. People talk about politics, and I talked about this last week, and I'm digressing a little bit, but, people, we don't vote. So that's why you got liquor stores all up in our neighborhood, but you better believe those liquor stores and other places of death aren't going to be in other neighborhoods. It's because of the politics. Politics creates policy. Politics is a pay-for-play game. You create a political action committee. You fund your candidates. Your candidates do what you want them to do. If not, guess what? They out, and next election you put somebody else in that does. But it's all based on economics. The media, the narrative that we're shown in. Who controls the media? Not us. We sit there and we watch more TV than anybody. We're on social media at a higher percentage rate than anybody else. Do we own any of the social media platforms? Do we own any of the media beside Radio One, TV One? Then there's some small stations. I know Ice Cube is trying to buy 21 TV stations right now, but he's getting some major pushback. No, we got to control that. But economics controls that. Do we control our own education system? No. Once again, that goes back to voting. People talk about it, you're not voting. You damn sure better vote for your local elections. That controls your taxes. That controls your school boards. That controls your economic development. And I said it last week. So when your grandma's been living in South Philly for 45 years and the politicians and the developers get together and decide, hey, this is a nice area. We're going to change the name of it from South Philly to something else. And we're going to up these tax rates so all these people, black people that have been there for 40 years aren't going to be able to pay their taxes. So guess what? We're going to buy them out or they're going to lose their property, and now the development can take place. That's from politics, which creates policy. So don't ever tell somebody that politics doesn't make a difference and you not voting. Please don't do that. I get it when people say it on a national level because it doesn't, they think it doesn't affect them that much, but it does. But I get how people can say that. But on a local level, your school board, your taxes, development in your communities, you want a prison built in your community? I mean, I know there's white communities that were fighting their ass off right outside of PA I think it was about a year or two ago, because they were going to put a prison in there. Guess what happened? They shut that thing down. Guess where the prison's going? Yeah, you got it in a minority area. You know why? Because we don't have the political clout to keep that out of there. Like I said, it's funny. You know when you're driving into a black neighborhood, when you start seeing all the liquor stores and check cashing places. They're not in other neighborhoods. But if you had political clout, you could keep those places out. So I don't want to digress too much, guys, but the importance of owning the system, 3 components we must control: produce our own, distribute our own, and buy our own. And once again, you look at the NFL and the NBA. They own the league. A few people, yeah, there's a league office and a league body, but really the leagues are controlled by the owners. They own the leagues. Most times they own the actual stadium. They own the teams, and basically they own the players. Okay? NFL stands for Negro Field League. Okay? We got to stop being part of the system and building our own system. We need to control our own system. Okay? The importance of owning the system, 3 components we must control, guys. Once again, I know this is a little deeper than I normally go, but last week and this week, but I want you guys to understand the impact and the importance of what we need to do in this movement that we need to further. And it all starts in your own house. Okay? It starts in your own house. If you just take a percentage and earmark a percentage of your dollars that you're going to spend with a black business, that's a start. Okay? I know you can go to Walmart, you're going to buy a couple black products, some shea butter over here or whatever. But if you make a concerted effort to spend a small percentage of whatever you normally buy to a black company, you don't know the difference that's going to make. So that company continues to grow. That company continues to hire. And then once again, statistics show most businesses hire people that look like them. So if the owner is Asian, they're probably going to hire Asian people. The owner is black, they're probably going to hire black people. If they're Jewish, they're probably going to hire Jewish people. It's statistics, and that's just how it is. And guess what? When you own the business, you can do what the heck you want to do. So let's start doing this, guys. Let's start being able to produce our own, distribute our own, and buy our own. And that's the easiest thing to do. That's today's show, guys. The importance of owning the system. 3 components we must control. So if you need to connect with me, guys, please link up with me on social media. Facebook, just go to Facebook, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. If you need to connect with me directly on anything long, just go to Jay Jones at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JayJones at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Twitter, JayJones001, JayJones001. Instagram, JayJones4Real, JayJones, 4, REAL. YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm about to do a YouTube video soon as I finish this. Just go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and please subscribe. I have additional content that I put out on YouTube. Yes, the show does come out on YouTube, but I have additional content also. LinkedIn. Just go to LinkedIn, look for Jay Jones, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint. Please connect with me there. Also, if you want to be included in the BEB text line for notifications and reminders, just text BEB to 555-888. BEB to 555-888. And also, once again, if you guys want me to come out and speak at an event or a book tour, just go to bookjayjones.com and you can put in the information and I'll get right back to you. Bookjayjones.com, BOOKJAYJONES.com. And I know I say this each and every week, but please continue to spread the message about Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast and the blog. Each and every episode, guys, we get more and more downloads, and that's attributed to the BEB family. I appreciate you guys, and I love you, and I'll see you same time next week. Peace.